I'm saying we do a little collab. We do a semen video together. I'm in. We can make, start off ye old semen. Ye old semen.
Welcome to In Moderation,
the show where we give you a moderate dose of info, sarcasm, and we already know we're not approved.
Hey everybody, welcome to In Moderation. I got something I want to get to. Some news broke today, which would have been a few days ago for now when you're hearing it, but like, who cares? Whatever. I need to talk about it.
I'm waiting to hear this.
Rob has no idea, like most Canadians. Anyway, we do have a couple of guests on today, though, so why don't we let them introduce themselves before I go on my rant at the beginning here.
Hello, I am Chloe of the Everhearth Inn.
And I am Drew, also of the Everhearth Inn.
Both of the Everhearth Inn.
And we are a fantasy online tavern creator. Tell them our gist.
Yeah,
we make high fantasy content. We focus a lot on cooking, specifically. We have branched out recently, however, to YouTube, where we make a lot of really fun stuff, including cooking content.
Like
but
geek-centric.
Also some other fun stuff. Yeah, we do a lot of geek-centered things, nerdy, high fantasy-inspired content, so...
And you're both wearing cat ear headphones. I probably should have put mine on, too.
These are actually my real ears.
Oh,
yeah!
Perfect.
Let's leave Liam out of the... Liam can't be a part of the club.
Oh, I'm jealous.
We were just talking about RGB gaming chairs as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we got some light up cat ears.
If you're going to be gaming for 12 hours straight, you need a decent chair.
Yes. Oh, that's incredible.
Light up.
There we go. Now I've got all the headphones on now.
Perfect. Now you can have all the ears to hear me talk about this. Listen, anybody out there, you might have heard of something called honey. No, not like the bees make. I mean, yeah, there is that honey, but that's not the honey I'm talking about. I am talking about Honey, the web extension browser, whatever. Like you download
the one for coupons?
Yes. So basically, Honey was like this free browser, and everyone advertised for this. They did deals with like every famous YouTuber, and they're like, download Honey. And what it does is it searches the internet for supposedly for every coupon available, and then it gets you the best deal. So that way, you know, when you're buying something, you're getting the best deal, right? Sounds great. Awesome. Here's the issue, and here's what it did. So if you don't know what an affiliate link is, basically someone says, hey, I like this thing. It's dope. Link in bio or whatever, or maybe on YouTube, it's just down there. You click on it, you go to the website, you make your purchase. Part of that purchase goes to the person who made the video saying, hey, this thing is cool, right? It makes sense,
right.
You know, like they drove traffic to the website to buy the thing. So here's what fucking Honey did, though. This is, okay. So basically... Yes. What? Okay, Oakley, hold on. I'm breaking the news. I got Oakley with me. She wants to touch the mic. So, Honey, when you would click the search for coupon or whatever, what it would do, it would go in and swap out the link. It would open a new browser and swap out the link that the influencer gave for their own link. So that when the purchase went through, the person who got the percentage was actually Honey and not the influencer. Yeah, that you clicked on.
Wow.
Oh, it gets so much worse. Okay, I'm not going to make this whole episode on Honey, but like, please go watch Megalag. Was it Megalag?
Megalag, yeah.
Megalag on YouTube. Go watch the whole thing. It's so... I mean, he spent years looking this up, and I feel bad just like talking about, but Megalag, that was so cool. Okay, but it gets so much worse because... You think like, oh, I'm getting the best deal. You're not even getting the best deal. You're not even getting the best deal. Because the way that Honey would market themselves to companies, they would say, hey, company, work with Honey, and you get to choose which coupons get used. And if you don't want people using the best coupons, then don't use those. So we're only going to give people a 5% coupon when actually there's a 30% one out there or whatever.
Wow.
So right? I actually, because I use Honey, I did not know about this hot gossip until today.
Mm-hmm. It just broke.
I have Honey currently installed on my browser, and I would always use it. But then I would go on Google and I would look at like Retail Me Not or like other coupon sites and look for coupons specifically for what I'm trying to buy. And most of the time, at least recently, Honey did not have coupons. But then I would go to Retail Me Not and I would see like influencer coupons on there. And then I would use them and they would work. And then Honey's like, oh, you want to add this coupon to Honey if it worked? I'm
Most
like,
of the time,
you should
the
have known
discounts
about it already.
were like Honey 5 or Honey 10. It was their own coupons that they would use.
Right.
And so they would just swap it out and they would get that percentage. And then Honey Gold, which changed its name because it's bought by PayPal. PayPal now owns Honey, if you didn't know. So they had
Interesting.
Honey Rewards, which is basically just like a shitty cashback.
Which I never
system.
signed up for, but it would always prompt me to do
delete
that.
it if you have it right now. Like it's
I have not. I don't even think
Oakley
I've made
standing
an
up for this
account.
part because she's like, "Whoa, this is going to get crazy right now."
The tea is piping hot.
So crazy. So they would have this cash back, and so you would click on like the get the rewards, and again they would just flip it out so that they got the affiliate link. They would get that, and when he tested it, the Mega Lag, he like set one up for like a NordVPN. That was a big thing that people a push.
Right.
And so like he looked it up, and he would have gotten $35 for people clicking his link. And what he found that Honey Gold was giving out was 89 cents. That's it in cashback rewards. So how much? We're talking millions and millions of dollars that there's
they've just been skimming off people. Yeah,
we have to. Yeah. It's not even the worst part. Hold on, the last part. I promise.
That wasn't the worst. Oh wow.
No.
But wait, there's more.
No, but wait, Oakley. There's more. Tell her about the more. No, she's not talking. That's fine.
Oh my god.
No. So often when they couldn't. Hold on, Oakley. I got to sneak in here. When they couldn't find a coupon code, Honey would just pop up and say, "Hey, we got nothing, but you have the best deal." And you would just click to close it out. And what would happen when you closed it out? They would flip it again and just use their affiliate code. So even if they couldn't find you anything and you just click the close, like it said like, "Hey, we got nothing." And you would say, "Go away." That click would open up a new tab and flip the affiliate code to them.
How does it do that without me noticing?
So like he goes into it. You got to watch the whole.
I need to see the code behind this because I've used Honey so much. I use it almost every single time I purchase something. I go to Honey and I'm like, do I have coupons?
I'm so glad I didn't use Honey.
I've been
most people are too lazy to install it, and that was good. Oh well, now that Oakley sees April, she's got to go see. Gotta go.
I feel like I've been bamboozled.
So, so it was they would just flip that, and there's more stuff. Like he's gonna do a second parter and a 3-parter and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. So now that sorry. So there's gonna be multiple parts to this, but Linus Tech Tips was one of the people that like promoted it a lot, and they do a lot of stuff with computers and whatnot. They didn't find out until like 3 or 4 years after promoting Honey, and they just quietly stopped working with them. And Mega Lag, he contacted them, and they said they found out. They basically said like, we didn't like how they worked with affiliate links, how they did that, and so they stopped working with them. But they didn't, say anything.
They didn't
about
say
it, which
anything.
They didn't whistleblow. And what's crazier is then Linus Tech Tips went and signed up with a different company that did essentially the same thing. It was just like a different type, like another one that flips the affiliate code or whatever. So it's that's like
Linus
very weird.
Yeah.
So there's going to be multiple parts because he says at some points Honey would find like a 80% off coupon, which is like crazy. So but how does that like work? And he says like it gets worse, and you're going to have to watch by the time you listen to this, part 2 and part 3 will probably be out. So go watch all of them on Mega Lag. Like it's crazy.
Oh man.
So anyway, how you guys doing? After my 10-minute
now I'm like a little bit angry. I was okay, but now I'm like
influencers have lost like just straight thousands for them, millions of dollars overall, and like this. I don't know
because how many people use Honey? I feel like so many people use Honey.
Yeah,
he went over how many like advertisements for Honey there were, and I don't remember the exact numbers. It was astronomical. But like billions of views, like it added up to billions of views of people seeing this ad for Honey. And so it's so if you have it, delete it, don't download it. There's going to be, I'm assuming, a class action lawsuit. All of this is alleged,
I was
by the way.
Say, how can they
I
I wonder if there's some sort of legal loophole Or they were just
Maybe.
hoping they weren't going to get caught.
Oh, he contacted Honey, and they straight up said what they did. They're like, if you click Honey, that last click, we use our affiliate link. They just straight up were like, yeah, no, totally, that's what we do. I'm like,
Wow.
There's no like, there's got to be something.
Yeah.
Because like, if they're so outwardly like, yeah, we did it, they must be confident that
it's legal?
they found illegal. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer. I
But
don't
like,
know.
this
It
is so
feels
bad.
illegal.
It feels so
Yeah.
illegal.
Deceptive.
It feels so deceptive. Yeah, that they must have some loophole
Yeah.
that they're exploiting.
Some
I-
tiny sentence in their terms and conditions.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, well, you didn't read
Because nobody reads those.
40
Yeah,
paragraphs
right.
down, line 7.
It's totally cool. We take all your money. Click yes.
Oof.
We don't guarantee.
Except
that
for
we're going to
89
use your
cents.
affiliate code.
Yeah, exactly. Here you go, peasant.
Here's your
Man.
doubloon.
Wild stuff, man. Absolutely.
I feel
wild.
justified in my not using them now.
A lot of people are
Yeah,
like,
I
that's
feel
just the comments.
bamboozled.
It's just
I
like, I'm so
feel-
glad I was too lazy. I downloaded it once. I mean, you don't lose, I guess, probably too much as the consumer. Like, you might not find the best code, but before you probably weren't going to use any code anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You probably didn't lose too much if you had it downloaded. It's more for the people that had like the affiliate links. Anybody who had
Yeah.
an affiliate link could have lost out on significant money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my preferential way of doing that is typically I go on Reddit and I search for reviews about what I'm looking at buying. And somebody who had a really nice review, not like nice as in the product is nice, as in they put lots of thought into their review.
Detail.
I'll be like, okay, I'm going to use your code because you put the effort in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Wow.
Interesting. But anyway, so you guys do cooking. That's cool. Back to
Sometimes
food.
with honey.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
exactly.
like, I felt like it kind of applied to us because, we're influencers and like, we might have an affiliate link or whatever, but like still just, I needed to talk about that because it's just wild. So what do you guys do? Is it, I'm curious. I'm interested.
Oh yeah. Well, it varies. We typically on our for a lot of our short form and I guess our long form too, we do like tavern style where I'll dress up as a tavern wench, or I don't know if I'm considered a wench. I've been
The definition of a wench. Let's ask AI.
You know what?
Let's ask
It depends on who you
ChatGPT.
ask.
What's a wench, please?
Yeah.
It depends on the
If you-
year.
If you ask me,
Yes.
it's the waitress that goes to the table and specifically bends over so you get a nice full view.
Nice low cut
Yes.
shirt.
get that nice tip, get the push a little extra. That's the
tipping
tavern
happened
wench.
back then? Like how common do you think tipping was like back in like medieval times? Would they actually be like, "Hey, I like the fact that I saw most of your breasts. Here's some money." Like what do you think? What do you
Thank
think
you, my
happened?
lady.
Was it 20%? Were they
Yeah.
just like whatever they had?
What was the affiliate code economy
What's-
like back then?
Where was the honey back then? That's my question. Where was the one that snuck in at the last second?
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, we started out in COVID, essentially trying to embody the feeling of like you're playing Skyrim and you walk into a tavern in Skyrim and you feel that like warm, you're not in the elements, you're not in danger, you're safe here. And so we have a tavern themed set that we would have that was in our apartment kitchen where it was our first mistake was we'd have to build the set every time we wanted to shoot, and so that was like
Oh,
45
God.
minutes of
Ooh.
That
draping
sounds
lights.
absolutely awful.
yeah. Well, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, well, yeah, it did. It was. It absolutely
Fair.
was.
Yeah. But yeah, we do tavern inspired cooking to kind of act as if you were walking in and seeing this chef at the tavern creating it for you, and you could feel welcome here. So we do a lot of themed recipes. We have a whole bunch of nerdy cookbooks that we cook from. So we have like D&D cookbooks, Skyrim, Stardew Valley, Overwatch, a bunch of others. So it's fun.
Do you ever create like recipes? So you create recipes from the game, like they had like like say a Zelda or something like that.
Sometimes. Yes.
Do you ever do like
So-
because I know Zelda's famous for like, oh, you put this thing
Oh,
in that
yeah.
thing and you make this thing.
We actually I did make a TikTok of like pretending that like with the food all jumping
Oh,
around.
yeah.
It actually did really good on
Yeah.
TikTok.
So, in the game, they just toss the ingredients in and they
then
all
they
just jump
dance.
up.
So I was like, I want to recreate this. So I took some fishing line and tied it to like shrimp and whatever the other ingredients are. So I had like a marionette system going
Shrimp
of like making these shrimp in the bowl. But I have made like fried rice from Zelda, and then what was we did a Monster Hunter. How Monster Hunter just has really good looking food, and
Yeah, it does.
we have a Discord where people will like suggest what they want us to cook, and Monster Hunter was very requested, so I made like a huge Monster Hunter style meal, and then we always like put up the recipes on our website, the ones that we come up with. But
I
yeah, we
imagine
definitely.
in February you're going to get busy with the new release of Monster Hunter Wilds.
Ooh.
I didn't even know that was coming out. How did I miss that? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But yeah, the food on Monster Hunter is just mwah.
Mhm.
My main question with all that though is how much seed oils do you use? Like how many like in gallons? Like give me an estimate.
Ooh. It depends. I guess if we're deep frying something. We made some Stardew Valley inspired, or no, it was from the Stardew Valley cookbook, and I had to deep fry something. I don't typically deep fry things because number one, it scares me, and number two, that's a lot of oil.
And I didn't feel like they did a lot of deep frying, like if you in a lot of these games, like when did you have like the opportunity where you just like had all this fucking oil? Because it's not like they had all like
You're
insane
just-
back then. where
in
you
your
could just, like, get
adventurers pack,
canola
you
oil.
pull out your gallon of vegetable oil.
I know, right? Like, I collected 80,000 peanuts, and now I have just enough peanuts to fry up, a
Let
hot
me
dog.
refine these peanuts into oil
Yeah.
and then fry some chicken.
Yeah. Well, do you have some of like your favorite things that you make, like some of your favorite recipes or like type of food, that sort of stuff to make?
We do like to joke that a lot of our views come from cheese-themed recipes.
I believe it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well-
Give me the down low on cheese.
Oh yeah, it's just we had a fondue recipe that got a lot of views. Recently for Thanksgiving, I made mac and cheese, and that got a ton of views. Because what you do is you start with the cheese pull, and then people are like, "Oh my god, that's
Yep,
amazing!
sold.
Who doesn't like cheese?"
Yep.
And when you're using 3 pounds of cheese in your pasta, it can kind of be a little bit of a little hook for people. But we've joked that cheese is like,
like joke, but like legit. Like if you looked at our like top 10 best videos, probably at least 6 of them have a significant amount of cheese.
Yeah.
But
tavern-style food, I guess. I don't know. It's that and then like big meaty plates.
Yeah,
so like
hearty
the Monster Hunter style.
Yeah,
Or
you're
it's
talking
just like
about Monster Hunter. So, like, what are the most common like meals? I guess you see like in games, like things coming over. Is it just like a big fucking massive
gotta be
dinosaur
meat.
steak?
huge, just huge meat.
yeah.
So we had like a huge rack of ribs, like the biggest one I could find, because it was like the Tarrasque style ribs is
that
what I
was
was
a-
like. I themed it towards D&D, but it was actually Monster Hunter style. But yeah, it was just like a big slab of ribs. I guarantee if I found like a turkey leg and roasted that, that'd probably be a good one too. Now that I think about it, I
Mhm.
should do that.
And I think a lot
You should have
of
done that, yeah.
I will.
a lot of like tavern style cooking, I think the key is to look simple, like to look
Mhm.
Right.
like it's not 800 ingredients. It's just like meat and some basic
Vegetables
sauce and
and-
vegetable and stuffing.
Yeah.
But like the key in that is trying to add in style to make it taste really good and not just those 4
bland.
ingredients.
Yeah.
I can't imagine food back then tasted super great because like they
Oh,
had,
yeah.
Probably not.
whatever. It was like root vegetables, and then like if they had some meat, like that was dope. Potatoes,
Spices were
great.
not a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Like right now, like the average person's like fucking spice rack or drawer or whatever is like all the money in the world back then because
Yeah.
like you had just like nothing.
Mhm.
You might have salt and like some like one spice. It's pretty
And like so
it's-
much of the British Empire was about acquiring spices. Like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
they dominated the world for that.
Is that why all the carnivores don't fucking season their food ever? Like, is they just because like back then they didn't have any seasoning, so they're like, yeah, salt, meat.
Yeah.
Live like your
That's all I
ancestors.
need.
Yes, exactly. Or Diet 29.
Like, I remember watching a YouTube video where they're like, they were going over what a peasant would eat. This is like medieval. I think this was like a medieval one, versus what a rich person would eat. And I'll be honest, like the peasant one actually looked better. The rich one, because they're always trying to fucking do weird ass shit, you know, right? Like they're like, oh, I got
Right.
this from this region and that. And, like, it just turns out fucking weird, bro. And
Yeah.
it often turns out just like a recipe for gout. Like it's just like all this like fatty, like it's just a ton of like saturated fatty meats. Whereas like the peasant meal was like, they would have a fish and then some peas and maybe a potato. And I'm like, actually looks pretty, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like I would totally smash that before the weird conglomeration of whatever the rich person is eating. So like, I think there is something to be said for keeping it simple. Do you find that these recipes that you make are like, are easier to make than a standard recipe you might make if you weren't making a recipe video?
A 3-star Michelin chef recipe?
Yes. I would say, yeah, our recipes definitely lean more towards the simple side because we also want to make recipes that are, one, can be made like without having like electronics, because that's, you know, we don't want to have like a blender in the tavern. We're like, well, so simple in that regard. And then also, just like, so everybody has the ability to make it. We're not like, oh, what's it, like flambeing, or, I mean, I'm scared to do that anyway, but
I just hurt myself.
Doing anything too complex.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done it once, and it was, I think I did it for a recipe, but I didn't record it because I was so scared.
Our first video that hit 1 million views, it was tavern-style meatballs, but we cooked the meatballs in our pressure cooker.
Oh.
And the top comments were like, yes, ye old pressure pot.
The next time we used ye old pressure pot, I put a little label on it, and it just said ye old pressure pot.
Yeah.
We put the,
lean into it. If you're on social media, lean into it for sure.
Oh yeah.
What's interesting, because I just filmed a recipe, if somebody tagged me in, like a disability-friendly stew. Like it was like a crock pot type thing for people, you know, there's no chopping or like cooking or like standing over a stove or anything. Just put everything in here. Oakley's trying to get in here. Try just putting everything in a pot. And so it sounds like kind of these recipes would be like maybe something more up that alley. Come on in, Oakley, say hello. And so like, you know, like it's, because again, like you're saying, like it's very simple ingredients and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Like it has to be just stuff that you like, I take this, I don't know, carrot or whatever it is, I put it in here, I cook it, right?
And a big motivation, like going back to, we wanted to bring that tavern feel to you. And if you want to engage with that with your own cooking, it's hard to do that and say like, oh yeah, this is this highly advanced recipe for a stew that takes 3 hours of manual effort. It's just a blocker for people who might not be expert cooks, but they want to experience this themselves. And so making them accessible for all skill ranges is just a better recipe, I think, for the masses.
Right, because we're dumb now, right?
Yeah.
We all agree how stupid we are. But like back then, people were like way stupider, like so much stupider than we are now. And like they still made food, right? They still made things that they could eat. So like I kind of feel like going back to that. It's like, oh, I could figure this out. I can make it work. I'm sure they constantly fucked up shit. Like when they, you know, they didn't have like a stove that was like induction and you hit like level 6 or some shit like that. It was like fire. And like, I don't know, how hot was the fire? Hot enough to cook it, I hope.
Yeah.
500 degrees, maybe? 900?
Yeah.
All right. So do you guys play a lot of games and that's how you kind of find these things? So you're just like, you're playing a game, you're like, oh that looks actually really good. I'm going to make that.
Yeah. So, well, quite a few of the recipes we'll get from polling on our Discord, because we have a lot of like D&D nerds, or like we'll ask them like, hey, what do you want to see? Another way I find recipes sometimes is I go to like D&D forums and I'll just look at like different pastries that exist in the realm of D&D and then make my own spin on it. Another way is, of course, video games.
We play a ton.
Yeah, we play a lot of video games. So like we'll be playing like Skyrim or The Witcher, and in any of those RPG games you have like food that heals you. So we'll get different recipes from that. And
do you ever put a little life bar above your heads?
Ooh.
I need to figure that out.
What food do you think would be the most healing? What everybody right? Okay, so here's my pitch. The cheese wheel. I feel like that would be
cheese wheel.
Let me get my pitch. Let me get my pitch in here. Okay, Brett. Listen, okay. I think like hearty stew, 100%. I think that fills up your health bar because like you got the meat, you got the vegetables. It's warm. Back then, everything was cold and rainy, and it sucked. So, I mean, depending, I guess, on where you were. And then you get some bread or something with it, maybe. I feel like that one.
Soak up
and then you have, like, way down the list where it's, like, just, like, I don't know, raw vegetables or, like, greens or something like that.
Uncooked boar meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, in Zelda, the radish is, like, the most healing item.
Oh, yeah, for some reason.
Like a raw radish?
Hearty radish. I forget the exact name of it, but, yes, there's a radish that is, like, the most healing vegetable in Zelda.
That's an interesting choice.
I'm going to be honest with you. Radishes, down the list, like, I don't know, D tier? I'd probably put them. They're not like quite F.
Used to be that way for me, but recently, if you put them on tacos, really good.
I was just going to say, pickling them puts them into like almost A tier. Like pickled radish is
you
really
can pickle
good.
anything and it'll taste good.
You can really pickle anything and it tastes better.
You can eat pickled eggs. It tastes like a pickle.
Right.
Different texture,
I get that, but like eggs are already pretty good. But like radish tastes like butt, and then you pickle it, and then it tastes actually good. Is what I'm saying. The biggest difference there is what I'm saying. It's jumping up a lot if you pickle it.
Okay. Pickling can elevate previously a little bit nasty food. Baby carrots, nasty. Pickle them.
Baby carrots? Not a baby carrot?
Not baby carrots, sorry, baby corn. Baby corn.
Oh,
like you get in Chinese food?
Those are gross.
Mm-hmm.
Are they in Chinese food?
Yeah,
Every time I've had them, I like pick them out.
She always picks them out and I get to eat them.
Also, cooked carrots, I do not like.
But the baby corn is so much fun. Like, okay, I give it like 80,000 fun points because like it looks like a corn stalk, but it's little and I just get to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's so
you can pretend like you're a giant eating a real size corn
have
cob.
Little versions, right? Like imagine if we had like dinosaurs and we shrunk them down and had baby little dinosaurs. Everyone would go wild. It's like that but with corn.
Now I need to make a miniature meal, a tavern meal, but it's like for a mouse, like a sentient mouse or something.
There you go.
Have those like little mouse videos have gotten?
Ooh, I need to do
like,
that.
He's just little ratatouille sitting there with his like little tiny spaghetti.
Make like, the smallest little steak somehow.
That'd be cute.
Have you guys seen that guy? There is somebody that actually does that. He has a little set.
Yes.
Where his frying pan is tiny.
Yes, and I'm obsessed with it. I remember that. And so I'm like, how are you cooking that? What is? Okay. How did you get that tiny stove?
But for the animals, but for the mice, so you get like a tavern mouse, and then you like make
a tavern mouse comes in, make a little tiny. Oh, good idea.
You can't leave out the players that like to play as mice or
true.
Other small races.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our main point in all this.
Putting it on the list. And then alternatively, we have the giants as well. Got to figure something else out there.
The giants. Okay, so then you have a regular person eating a baby carrot and then a giant with like a regular carrot.
No, I have bet. One time I went and I have a TikTok where it was like comment bait. I found the biggest carrot I have seen in my life. It was as long as my forearm.
And it was like really
it was huge.
Big. It was so
I took it. I like flung it out on the table, and people were just like commenting that carrot is huge. Like it's the biggest carrot I've ever
like
seen.
They have the pumpkin.
The only reason I'm cooking with
get
this.
One of those. Get like one of those massive pumpkins or something. You know what I'm talking about? Every year they got to
get some of the meat glue. And start gluing a bunch of meat together into this giant.
No, we found the limit.
Old meat glue.
There's some pork on beef, and we got chicken down here.
We found the line, and it has been crossed.
There is no line when it comes to tavern cooking. We cook with what we can get. Okay.
We have no pressure cookers or meat glue. What did people even eat back then? Nothing.
I mean, technically within our realm, magic exists, so meat glue is not out of the question.
Magic meat glue does have,
in my opinion,
has a ring to it, kind of like Magic Mike, but not at all.
Magic meat,
magic
mystery
meat.
Magic meat,
Magic Mike's magic meat.
I mean, how many games have mystery meat in them?
Yeah,
Mike's
it's chicken, pork, beef.
I'm just saying.
It's a turducken.
Meat.
Ooh, yeah. Smart.
Today,
writing
if
this
you
down
open
too.
a video, listen, we were before Rob got here because he's off cooking himself, whatever. We were talking about how like for the algorithm, you gotta like, whore yourself out a little bit, you gotta
Lower
just
that
eat something
shirt a
that's
little bit.
engaging. Well, also that, but just being like, just something weird and out there. And starting off with like today on Magic Mike's Meat. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, you got my attention.
Yeah.
I'm interested in what you're making now.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
If you're scrolling through TikTok and you suddenly hear that, you'll know it was me. You don't even have to see it.
You guys might not know this, but I have a series that people ask me about all the time. I got to make more. It's called Semen. CMEN. Sheep
I was gonna
meals,
say,
extra
shanties?
nutrition. Sheep meals, extra nutrition. And I started off with like, hey, you know what? I forgot about semen. I really just let semen slip through the cracks. I'm trying to, boom. That's what I'm saying. This is how. But if I start a recipe with just like, hey guys, I'm gonna make a simple recipe that's kind of healthy, and no, everyone's scrolling away. You need semen first before you.
Welcome back. Today we're cooking with semen, and then Drew comes in dressed as a.
Just as Magic Mike.
I'm telling you, most views you've gotten. I'm just trying. I'm not telling you have to do anything. But if you're looking to get, a little bit more out of the algorithm, you need to be kind of wild off the start. We're fighting against AI making wild claims.
Look what AI has made us do.
This is your fault.
You fight fire with fire.
One of you, I don't care which one of you does it, has to start the semen video, and you have a hidden thing of whipped cream or something just off camera, and you come in and you say, we're cooking with semen. White shoots all over the place.
Not Chloe, not Drew. I'm saying we do a little collab. We do a semen video together. I'm in. We can make start off ye old semen. Ye old semen. I am not in. I'm not doing it unless we get to start with ye old.
We gotta make the logo. It fades in. Semen fades out.
Ye old. And listen. I mean, and stuff back then, right?
Like, Liam has to be low on health, and then after the meal's made, he can eat it. And the health bar goes up.
I'm not great at editing, but I'm sure I could pay someone or something to figure that out. Or like I'll just draw it. I'll just like draw like a little thing. Doesn't matter. But like and talking about like food back then, like what did they eat? Like it was a lot of it's like potatoes and like whatever, like vegetables and stuff, like grains. Like fucking China just ran on rice, right? Like if you're talking about China, like that's the entire continent. Like if they didn't have that, everybody'd be dead.
I could run off of rice, honestly.
Oh, so good.
I eat so much rice.
We were talking about if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, and I'm not talking chicken parm
Sushi.
here, okay? No.
Created food.
No. Wait till the rules. You have to wait till the rules.
Okay. I'll hear you out.
I said one individual food. So like cucumber or like, whatever, like a corn. It has to be one food. It can't be a whole dish. Like, yeah, you pick pizza. Pizza's great. No, I'm talking one food you can eat for the rest of your life. My wife says rice. I like rice, but like I'm not that in love with rice. For me, it's peanuts all day. Peanuts got crunch. You could blend them up and make peanut butter. That way I have peanuts or peanut butter. I could have it crunchy. I could have it smooth. We'll say you could add salt, but you can't add a whole bunch of seasonings, okay? You can't be like, and then add za'atar or whatever. No. You have to pick one individual food. What are you picking? Hi.
Well, if I can't pick sushi, I'm gonna pick rice. Sushi rice specifically.
Sushi.
It doesn't have to be seasoned. Sushi rice is essentially like a white Japanese style rice, so like nishiki or calrose rice, and then you put sushi seasoning, which is a mix of mirin and sushi vinegar. So if we're not able to do that, I'm still gonna do like a nishiki rice, like a slightly sticky rice.
I think I probably say potatoes.
Rice.
I'm saying today on Ye Old Semen, we're making sticky rice. Sounds pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
How is it sticky? That's up to you.
Don't watch the whole video to find out.
Wait till the end. We'll explain why it's so sticky.
Special surprise.
I'm telling you, this video blows up. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, it blows up all over.
You don't know when it's going to blow, but it will.
Oh, no.
We are not getting ad revenue on this episode.
Her career is over.
Pull up,
for children, okay?
He says with his baby.
But like, other than that.
You gonna live off of potatoes?
Yeah, potato.
Potatoes.
Which kind of potato?
Okay.
Because
Oh.
there's a couple kinds, right? Sweet
Russet.
potato,
There's 3,000
Gold.
kinds.
russet potato.
Really? Oh,
I was gonna
sweet.
say there's what 3 kinds of potatoes?
At the store, there's
The
3
tiny
kinds of
ones,
potatoes.
the little ones, the big
Fingerlings.
ones, and the orange ones.
Probably just
I was in Peru, and I went through like this potato museum where they were showing all the different types of potatoes, because Peru has like, I think there's actually like 5,000 types of potatoes, and Peru has 3,000 of them
Oh my god.
or something like
Are
that.
they-
Wow.
Gatekeeping all the
because
potatoes.
came from South America, right? They made their way to like Ireland. We know it as like an Irish thing, but like it started in South America.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Oh, fun fact. I think I told this before, but I'm going to tell it real quick because it's really great. Like how they got people interested in potatoes, because when they first came over, people were like, oh, that's a foreign thing. Bleh. They were like, okay, so you can't have it. It's a king's food. And they had put guards to guard the potatoes.
And then they
but
got
they told the
jealous.
guards, if people steal them, just let them steal them. That's totally fine. If they bribe you, let them bribe you. Let them bribe you. Take the money. And so people were like, oh, it's a king's food. Now I got to have it. And they went and stole the potatoes. So like that's how they got people.
I'm just imagining the town square, a pile of russet potatoes, guarded by 3 guards
Yep.
with blindfolds on or something.
Yeah.
Like playing
They're like,
cards.
don't
Yeah.
take them.
Yeah,
Do
who doesn't
not
like that?
touch.
Stupid guards.
Or those NPC guards that have a super predictable path and they stand
Yeah,
looking away from the
they
thing they're
walk
protecting.
one way and they
Yeah.
stop.
Well, I guess
They
I'm
walk.
turning
You can
now.
you can see their cone of vision.
Yeah, must have been the wind.
Like, can you imagine like being the one of those guards?
Just a
Like someone
box.
comes up to you, I'll pay you to let me take some potatoes, and you're like,
like,
I don't know.
Let me think about it.
Yeah,
I guess
Maybe
Yeah.
just
Only
this
you,
once,
though.
but
Just
don't
this
tell
one
anybody
time.
else.
But I think potatoes are a solid choice. Like there is like the potato diet where people like only eat potatoes, and of course they lose a ton of weight because potatoes are actually ranked as like one of the most satiating foods.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are, Oakley.
What about rice?
Rice is not quite as it's not as
Yeah.
filling. It's more a little bit more calorie dense and like not as much fiber and stuff, especially your white rice and whatnot. But what potatoes are you going with? I would probably go with like I don't know if I go russet or like Yukon Gold is really good too.
Those
Yukon
are
Golds are really
creamy.
good. Yukon Golds are
Creamier.
great for stew.
Yeah,
I think just the big monster baking potatoes. like-
yeah.
I think you can do a lot with it, but if
They
you're
make
limiting
French
me
fries.
on like spices, I might
Yeah.
regret that.
Well, you can have
You
salt,
regret all of
so
this.
you can
This is
make
all a
fries.
terrible decision.
Yeah,
Nothing
Drew,
good
you're
comes from
locking
this.
yourself into a lifetime of potato. Are you sure this is what you want?
I think I'm gonna lock in.
Okay, he's locked in, guys.
Rob,
Final
what about
answer.
you?
Oh God.
I remember we
my
asked
first
this before,
instinct.
and you said something really dumb. But go ahead.
We did this before, but it was the entire meal, not an individual
Okay.
food. And I said fish and chips.
Now you can only have one.
Those are really good.
Like my initial reaction is wanting to go with fish, but then I'm like, I would get sick of eating nothing but fish after.
See, but then if you went
After
fish
so
and
short.
I went
Anything,
potatoes, we could meet up and create fish and chips and not break the rules.
I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And a side of
Somebody pick
rice.
seed oil so we can fry it. I can
Liam
only
is
consume
only
seed
going to
oils.
live off of seed oil.
Actually, now that I say it, fuck peanuts. I'm going seed oils, canola all the way.
There we
Rapeseed.
go.
We're just going.
I got the
full
fish, we
real
got
Yeah.
seed oil,
Free
we got
day.
potatoes.
Yeah.
rice, potatoes, fish, and rapeseed. We're
Yeah.
on
There we
an
go.
adventure.
And that's how society started.
Yeah.
Well,
Running off
go
of
to our
fish and chips and a
Patreon and
dream.
tell us which food you would pick and why.
Yes. It's very important.
Gotta plug that. Use our affiliate code without honey.
Yeah.
Uninstall honey and then use our
Uninstall
affiliate
honey
code.
first. But anyway, how you guys doing?
I'm a little bit less angry about the honey
Yeah.
thing.
After that list of conversation topics, I'm less angry about the honey.
I'm just a little concerned about what my future holds
Yeah.
with the seamen.
Ye old seamen.
Ye old
we're doing-
seamen.
I'm gonna message
Uh-huh.
you guys. We're gonna make it happen. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know, great. It's gonna be a thing, and it's gonna get a lot of views.
I
That's
think
Will it be
that's
good? Yeah.
it will definitely be a thing.
I think people
Mhm.
will think they will find it funny. All right, I mean, then we can do any sort of like old recipe. I don't know. I remember I used to play like Dungeons and Dragons, and we would make like a stew or something like just a big pot, throw a bunch of like whatever you might have back then, and it did kind of like immerse you into it a little bit more. You'd play some
Yeah.
music, you play the
Uh-huh.
tavern music from like
Yeah.
which or one of
You have a
whatever
little
game.
fireplace sound going in the background.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One recipe I do have on my list is not. It's not a medieval recipe. I think it's from the Depression, the Great Depression. Is a water pie. It is
Water
pie
pie.
crust. Yeah, so it's essentially flour. I think there's sugar in it and water.
Yeah,
And
there's
like
sugar.
that's
You
it.
don't mix it though. That's the thing. So
No.
like, you just put it.
So
Yeah,
you have
you're
your
supposed to just put it in there
crust,
and you just dump
water,
everything together.
sprinkle it in,
Yeah,
and then you bake it as it is, and it like
you're
turns
supposed to
into
use butter as well. I think because
Oh yeah, there's butter in it too.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
butter.
yeah.
And
But you don't
so-
mix any of it together. You just
That's
bake it, and then
wild.
it turns into like this not too bad pie. I mean, yeah. So that's on my list of things to make because I feel like that's a cool recipe too. Like
Well,
water
make sure
pie.
you start the recipe with a gray filter, looking all depressed and stuff, and then when you try
Yes.
it, you can brighten it up.
Oh yeah. My life
Genius.
just gets so much happier after eating my water
Exactly.
pie.
Somebody
Exactly.
did it with Olipop. Somebody got like an Olipop, like a grape Olipop, and did it. And like the comments were just absolutely hysterical.
Interesting.
Like it was just like, this is why I can't go to people's houses, all that sort of stuff. And, like,
We can have a LaCroix, a Pamplemousse LaCroix pie.
LaCroix.
Little
and pie come together. No times are bad.
What soda makes the pie taste the best? Is it Mountain
Dr.
Dew?
Pepper has 12 flavors, so I'd probably go.
Dr. Pepper. I won't even get started on Dr. Pepper. I could, if we had to pick one drink, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
Dr.
she would
Pepper.
IV that.
Have you tried Dr. Pepper Zero Cream Soda? That is like my
Yes.
top diet soda right now. It's
I've tried
so
every
good.
Dr. Pepper. No, that's a lie.
No,
But
you
yeah.
had it.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I've tried every Dr. Pepper. I have not. Maybe that should be a next YouTube video, trying every flavor of Dr. Pepper.
There you go.
I would be
There's
so
a
You're getting
happy.
all the ideas on here.
There's a place near me that sells every flavor of liquid death. Liquid, like their waters
So it's just
or whatever
water.
like that. Basically.
Oh.
But I feel like it would be good to do a video
they
of
have
just like
flavored
all of them
waters?
lined up. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the names are great. It's like Dead Billionaire because it used to be Armless Palmer, but then they got sued because, like they were Yeah, exactly.
Also, it's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Armless Palmer.
Armless Palmer. And it was
Whoa.
it was iced tea and lemonade, all that stuff. So they got a bunch of flavors, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool to just do a lineup and just drink each one of these. They all kind of taste like like LaCroix, where like you drank water while somebody whispered the word in another room.
Yeah. The lemon was in the room when the LaCroix was canned.
Liquid Death is an interesting company because it feels like they exist solely on their marketing. Like they don't have.
Oh, their marketing's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Top tier. They got like Ozzy Osbourne and like all these different like the Deep or whatever, like all these different characters. They do their marketing right. They don't do their like I'll say this, they don't do like their fact checking too well because like I got their Liquid Death electrolyte mix. And on it said it had like 800 grams of sodium. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you mean milligrams. I
Yeah.
was
This
like,
is
you
just
missed an
straight
M?
salt.
Like, how did you
Yeah.
miss an M on this?
A very
So-
crucial M.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah, Oakley wants back in here. She's got my giant rubber band ball I've made like
Oh my gosh.
years ago. Look at
Wow.
How much does that weigh?
this. Enough. Yeah, here, look, here's the rubber bands. Here's the rubber bands. You got the rubber bands. No, she don't want the rubber bands. Stupid rubber band ball. But so I'm kind of curious, like, what if people were like trying to get into like she's telling me she needs a book or something right now. I don't.
What are you
If
thinking?
people were trying to like get into like what you guys are kind of doing, like just like the ye old meals and stuff like that, what would you recommend to them? I guess we should probably give people
Ooh.
actual advice and stuff on this podcast,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, if they're wanting to make content, I would say, really, if you're wanting to make any sort of content, just do it. Just start, and then you can add on things later. But if you want the full medieval vibe, maybe get some elf ears, get a little bit of it, maybe get a light that flickers, and then just find like you could go to our website. We have all of our recipes on our website, all of our high fantasy recipes, so you could pull one off of there. But also just find like the most rustic, think of the most rustic possible recipe you could, and then just pretend
Does it
you're
involve
eating
a
at
wooden
tavern.
spoon? If yes, then
Yes.
it's rustic.
Have
Exactly.
a place you go to find some. You were talking about like your Discord and stuff, but like, is there any
Yeah.
like I don't know books or anything like that, websites that are like dedicated to this that you know of?
There's no, we don't pull. I mean, if I'm looking to make a recipe like that I haven't made before, I'll find something online, and then like if I don't know what temperature to cook something to, I'll find a similar thing online to what I'm thinking, and then put a spin on it. But for most of our recipes, they're like recipes that you could find online, like it's a macaroni and cheese, but then like we'll have like, smoked Gouda or something else in it. So we do find some recipes online and then do our own spin on things. We have a bunch of our like cookbooks that we use. Like if we are using an actual cookbook for something, we will link the cookbook, usually with an affiliate link, but also,
If there
people
is
can
one.
if there is one. That's a lot of the times if we're cooking something that comes from a video game. There's like some D&D official cookbooks that we've been sent, and we've cooked from
Oh, are
those.
there? That sounds actually really
Yeah.
cool.
They're great.
They send us all their new ones, so we have
Yeah.
so many. We have three D&D cookbooks. We have one where it's a bunch of drinks. It's called Puncheons and Flagons,
Yes.
and I made it was called an ogre toe, where it was essentially a whiskey sour but with pickle juice. It was really good. So we use cookbooks like that. We use different video game cookbooks. I also have like some other like more in-depth cookbooks where it like teaches me how to do certain things. But I try not to get into the more complex stuff because I am a home cook. I'm not a professional cook.
You don't want to be a
I don't want to come
gastronomist?
off as a no, and I don't want to come off as like a professional
cooks that
cook.
listen,
on
so that's good.
TikTok.
We want rustic. Tell us like the simplest way to for the simple.
You need
simple people like
a
myself.
pan. You need a wooden spoon, a little bit of seed oil, and some meat.
And
Yeah.
fire.
And
Yeah.
fire.
We have a little fire stove that we use. Instead of, we don't use like our induction stove for our videos. We have a little fire stove, like a campfire.
I do think if you're wanting to start out with like rustic cooking or just cooking in general, if you're a complete noob, I think one of the biggest like level ups for us was cooking meat using a meat thermometer. Like I think as soon as you jump that barrier from like, oh yeah, cook the steak 6 minutes on each side or whatever, to cook it to this temperature, your rate of success goes way up, and that's a huge way to
Right.
improve your cooking. And as if you're cooking simple recipes where it's just like meat and vegetable and blah, you can mess it up, but you won't destroy it. Like you'll still have a decent meal, and like, oh, I maybe overcooked this, and now I know for the next time. And you can iterate on that and get better and better without having too much frustration. Where if you we still struggle a lot with like bread and pastries. That can be really hard, and you can fail to make those and it will be pretty bad, and like you'll just be upset. And so if you start with simple stuff that like just like doing it poorly is not the end of the world, you can learn and grow and get better and better and start getting creative, which is fun.
Okay, so start with the things that are less fuck upable, right? So you
Yes.
got your vegetables, you got your starch, you get some
Sauteed
potatoes.
vegetables.
It's hard to mess up potatoes that badly. Like you
Yeah.
can probably mess them up, but they're still potatoes. Like it's still good. And then
Uh-huh.
like meat or whatever, right? Any other like kitchen essentials? Like so you said like, okay, I got a pan, got a spoon, I got heat. Is there anything else that and during your videos like something that like, oh, this made our life easier, like that sort of thing?
Oh, for sure. The fire stovetop, like what is it called? The portable
Butane
stove that we
camping
have.
stove.
Yeah, we have a portable butane. Would you call it a camping stove?
Yeah,
I guess
maybe.
it's more of like a portable butane stove. It's like it's about this big, square, and that thing has been a godsend for like making content specifically. It's also really good for cooking like using a pan because you can get the sides of the pan, whereas like with an induction stove you can't really do that. It's just kind of sitting down. But when you have a flame, you can tilt the pan and actually heat parts of the pan instead of all of it. So that's like my number one thing that's like the best quality of life improvement when it comes to cooking is having a gas stove option. And then specifically content creating, having a portable gas flame stove option. Other than that, I don't like nonstick pans really for anything. I would get a cast iron pan and
There is a learning curve with them.
Not a cast iron, a clad iron pan, or it's like a stainless steel pan.
Like they used in war, like clad iron, like like the submarines or whatever. Like what is this clad iron pan?
I don't know how
Is
it's.
it
I think
all
it's
clad
made
as the
by
brand?
pressing steel, like two like pieces of steel or multiple pieces of steel together, and that's called like the cladding process. All Clad is a common brand name or made in. Those have really good pans. I would suggest getting one of those. As for a cast iron, that was what I was saying before. A cast iron kind of does the same thing, but it's just really heavy. So I would
But
suggest
that just makes it good for bashing your enemies with.
Yes, exactly.
if you're
doubles as
getting
a
into
weapon.
the high fantasy cooking specifically, I might suggest a cast iron pan
Yeah.
instead because it's very high fantasy looking.
We have,
it
and like
is.
you can get real expensive with cast iron, but you can get
some
Lodge
really
is a
good-
great
Mhm.
cast iron brand,
You can
and
get
it's
a
not
pan for like
the price.
20 or
Yeah.
$30. The only thing is it doesn't come seasoned.
Well,
you
it
have to
does,
see
but
it.
it's not
Just
great.
look up a video
Yeah.
on seasoning before we describe it to you. Just it's way easier. Just like look up a video seasoning. It's not hard. Like oil,
Mhm.
you need an oven.
It's-
Boom, you can
yeah.
season.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it's
you
not
can hit
hard. It
the
just takes a little
lottery
time.
or the jackpot and go to a thrift store and find one that's been
Mhm.
cast
Mhm.
off.
Thrift stores.
Might be a little
Yeah.
rusty. You might need to clean it up a bit,
100,000
but
years.
yeah.
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 They do
that's
make
good. And they
a
also
nice-
add iron to your diet, just in case for all you iron deficient people.
Yeah.
They do add iron by cooking in cast iron.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
There's a nice combo set that we started out with where it's a two-piecer. It's like a stove or a pot with a handle, and then the lid to that pot is also a cast iron skillet. So you can use that lid as its own skillet. So you have like a 2-for-1 thing. It's a great starter. You can make stews. You can use the skillet to cook any meat or veggies you want. It's a good starter for a rustic vibe.
I feel like also having
Nice.
cast iron or like something that can get really hot like that helps add to the flavor because you get like that crisp to
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
without having to add like a ton of butter or anything.
Right, the char, like that's really
Yeah,
good. Does it
you can
increase
get
your
a
risk
good
for
char.
cancer? Yes. Do I give a shit? Absolutely not. It's so good. Like I'm not giving that up. I don't care. I'll make sure I get my fiber and my antioxidants and all that stuff, and I'll call it a day. I'm not giving up on charring my food. I see a lot of people get like real into it, like any sort of like the charring or grilling, like it creates AGEs, like advanced glycation end products, and then they're like that increases your risk for this cancer. I'm like, listen, it makes the food taste a lot
It makes
better.
me-
It makes
what?
me happy. And so, like, I'm going to balance my
Happy
life
is
out. I'm going to
healthy.
exercise. I'm going to eat my veggies, all that stuff. But I'm not giving, like, I want that, okay? Listen, leave me alone. I'm not going to, what am I going to do? Not toast my bread? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I ain't have- so.
And if you're having like charred food that you're grilling and stuff, you're having more simple whole foods.
Right. And those whole foods are what's important in, again, like in balancing everything out. So, it's like, yeah, it's just, I see so many people, like, ask me, like, these detailed questions about this sort of stuff. Like, what about this and that? I'm just like, holy shit. Is your life just nothing but worrying? God damn. Like, it's
that can't
fine.
be good for your health.
It's fine. It's
No.
a pan, cooking it, eat the food, go for a walk afterwards. Boom, you're done.
Mhm.
Great. Or if it's cold,
Eat your
don't, 'cause
steak and your potato with some char in a high fantasy tavern.
get your get your carrots in there, whatever the hell they had. Get your massive carrots. The biggest,
Yes.
the bigger the
Carrots,
carrot, the better.
radishes, whole
No
radishes.
baby corn.
No baby carrots.
So-
no baby corn.
Just baby corn.
where
I'd
where
like
should
baby
people
corn.
begin when they're trying to make their own high fantasy kitchen? Because that's
Ooh.
one great thing is there's a lot of people out there that they don't want to cook because it's either boring or
Mhm.
it's too much time, it's stupid, whatever. They're like, oh yes, my meat is chemically changing into something that I can masticate in this pan. Hooray. But you add that little fantasy flair to it, you give it a little imagination, and suddenly it becomes a lot more interesting to them.
So I like to turn off all the lights. I'm getting somewhere. So you turn off the lights, you have your we got on Amazon these like flame lights.
Like flame effect LEDs.
Yeah, it's an LED light, but it just does a flame effect. So you put that in the corner. So your kitchen is now illuminated with a torch. You find some like fake greenery. You put that up on your bar. Maybe you have a couple bottles of mead or wine or ale. Another thing you need to get, like a stein-shaped mug, so you can put your water in that if you drink water, or if you drink wine, you could put wine or beer in it. So you're drinking your mead while you're cooking your steak on your cast iron flame tabletop stove.
Just don't
That is the
accidentally
way.
spill the meat into the fire.
No.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I
Would
think
highly suggest not to do that.
dimming the lights and using some sort of candlelight situation,
Yeah,
put some
that-
fantasy music on in the background,
That's another
immediately
thing.
multiplies.
They have quite a few like ambiance style high fantasy like 8-hour long videos on YouTube. So a lot of times, like if we're trying to like get into a specific mindset, we'll play those in the background. I think we used to do live streams on TikTok where we would play like Skyrim music in the background, and then we'd be cooking, and then we'd have like the lights dimmed, and we'd have our little Amazon light, in the corner there illuminating for us. You don't need too much light. I mean, those things are pretty bright. But then you have your stove as well that produces the flame, produces some light too. I would say that would be a pretty good way to get yourself into that high fantasy mindset. Another way is you could cosplay while you're cooking. I've done that before when I have to clean and I don't want to clean. I will dress up as a innkeeper, an elven innkeeper, and I will pretend that I am cleaning the inn.
Specifically an innkeeper, not a tavern wench. There's a difference.
Yes.
No.
Tavern wench is only for serving food.
Wench by night, innkeeper by day.
Innkeeper by wench
One's
by-
far tighter.
Yeah. One has a deep V, the other one turtleneck.
Well,
A nice
Give
big
people-
wood cutting board is also a nice aesthetic.
Yes. Yeah, having a cutting board, a big like chef's knife that you use for everything. I would suggest getting some German steel for cutting. You can cut like anything with that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think just there's a lot of value in, if you're a gaming nerd like we are, there's a lot of value in relating what you find fun in video games to this real life thing that you want to do or get better at. And so like gamifying things, getting excited about like, oh, I'm going to dress up in cosplay and make a burger today can kick you into gear of like, I'm going to make my first burger and I might like burn the crap out of it, but I had a lot more fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get into new things and try new things and fail and iterate and level up. It can make it a lot more fun to suck at something, and then eventually you don't suck at that thing.
And
Just
another
like,
thing,
yeah, Jake the dog says, sucking at something is the first step in being kind of good at something.
Yeah.
But like if you're wanting a high fantasy recipe, just what's your favorite like high fantasy video game? What did they eat in that game? Look up like, oh, maybe The Witcher, they have like some sort of meat dish, and then find a similar looking one online, because there's a recipe for like everything online. Recipes, if someone comes out with a new recipe, it's probably not a new one. There's a
Everything's
recipe for
stolen at this
everything.
point.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Right.
stolen, but like you can't really come up with a new recipe
I
at this
know.
point. It'd be hard.
There's
I don't know.
8
I'm not
billion
professional.
people on the planet now, or whatever there
There's
is.
so many.
Yeah.
There's going to be a recipe
They're all
for it.
eating multiple times a day.
The
We have a lot
ideas
of
have been thought.
Yeah.
Yes. There's no original thoughts, so
Mhm.
you will be able to find your recipe online.
That's where the gastronomists come in with their meat glue and making chimera meat.
No.
That's a
get
new one.
Yeah.
We get desperate. Well, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you guys want to go over here? I just want to give you the floor. Just like anything you want to tell people, you want them to know, questions you get asked a lot, and you're like, oh God, we get asked this so much, and that you want to just throw out there.
Where's the recipe? It's on our website. I swear. It's either in the description or on our website or a book.
And give the website
Yeah, I
again,
guess
'cause
we-
people forget every 5 seconds.
Oh, everhearthin.com.
Yes.
That's it.
EVER. No. Yes. EVERHEHINN.
How spell, how word work.
Word.
See, we're medieval tavern wenches.
Mhm.
We don't know how to read. We know how to cook.
Okay. Well, I mean, the
Yeah.
most important thing is what are we doing for ye old seamen? And we can discuss that later. But I'm just saying, I
Yes.
want like a
Something salty.
a salty stew with
Mhm.
Oh,
all
yeah.
the meat, and just keep it. We'll keep it simple.
Cream
It's
of
gonna be good.
mushroom.
But yeah, I think we do get our most frequent theme of question is like, how do? And so it'll be anywhere from how do I do fantasy cooking? How do I start
How do I become
making
a part
content?
of this? Yeah.
How do we do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons related stuff. How do I start out with D&D? I think there's a huge value in not being afraid to suck, like we were talking about earlier. and just starting off being bad. And like D&D has a lot of social pressure of like, oh, there's a lot of podcasts that make it look cinematic and incredible. I'm never going to be able to replicate that, but you don't have to, because you're focused on having fun for your own self and trying out these new things.
You don't want perfection to be your enemy. Like, you don't want to feel like you have to, like, your first video has to be perfect. It's not going to be, no matter what you do. And that's going to prevent you from being able to do it, is if you try to make it perfect. So what you need to do is just start with what you can, put it out into the world, and then your next video, improve one thing.
Yeah.
Or if you're not making videos, say you're cooking something, pick a simple recipe. Maybe it's not something you're completely interested in, try it, and then level up a little bit more after that.
And a key patience to have with yourself is don't be afraid to suck, and then do push yourself to improve one thing however you can. So like there's one thing to say like, oh, I've made this, I have like the experience of doing this 20 times. No, you've done it once 20 times over. Like if you get the experience of iterating on that and trying to improve each time, you'll come a lot farther, even if each improvement is barely noticeable.
Exactly.
Right before we sat down to...
Don't be afraid to suck. There you go.
Right before we sat down to record this, I was making food, and I microwaved a potato for the first time ever. I usually cook them the traditional way in an oven.
Yeah.
I didn't use ye old microwave, but I tried one, and it came out like a rock, and I learned that I need to cook it for 2 minutes less. There we go. I failed. I learned. Next one came out perfect.
There you go.
There you go.
It's always
you
a
did
new
a little
adventure.
improvement.
Exactly. Just everything that you fail, it's a new adventure. Now,
Exactly.
I am on a new adventure to change my daughter because she just pooped in my lap. So
Oh.
so I have to do that.
That's
So make sure
lovely.
yeah, exactly. You tell the people where to find you, all your socials, all those things.
So we are Everhearth.in on Instagram and TikTok. We have a YouTube as well. We make a lot of fun long-form content over there. We also have a website, everhearthin.com, a Discord, and a Patreon. Those are both linked on the website as well. Anything else?
If you like geeky fantasy video games, not even just strictly D&D medieval cooking related, we do all sorts of stuff on like that on all of our socials, especially YouTube.
Yes. Check us out.
Well, thanks for coming on, guys. I'm off to my adventure. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.
We had to make room for all of that delicious food we've been talking about.
Yes,
the
of
tavern
course.
Hey, wasn't that a great time? Listen to the podcast. You were I'm assuming you were just listening to in moderation. So if you go ahead and hit the 5-star button, is that a thing? The like button?
That's a thing.
No.
Yeah.
The like button on
5
YouTube.
stars.
If you're on YouTube, hit the like button, not the dislike button. That's a bad button. The
Bad
like
button.
button.
Don't
Bad button.
touch.
Hit
Don't touch
hit all the other buttons. The share. You can go check out
all those things.
subscribe. Go check out our Patreon. We do have a Patreon. It's free to join if you want, or you could give us some money. That'd be really cool, like $1 or $2. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have.
That's where you'll find all the news for this.
We're super appreciative. You can find all sorts of other stuff there. We do giveaways, I think, sometimes,
Sometimes.
all that. Yeah, absolutely. So, peace.